Therapy Army! Big up to the army. Big up to everybody who's tuned into the stream. This is your match reaction to Manchester United, Manchester City FA Cup, Manchester Derby final, which unfortunately we got our asses handed to us in certain sense. Man City were not even in first gear. Sorry, they were not even in second gear. They were just about, they chilled on first gear, turning bare corners. And we got humiliated, basically. It could have been, the game made 2 decent saves, but it showed today his limitations of what he is as a goalkeeper. But another game, we said it last night, innit? We're living in a prayer. I said it, Mumbai said it, and we know who we are, man. So to me, I saw players jumping out of 50-50s, and the only guy that I saw that was giving it some was Garnacho. But big up to Eski. Eski, how you doing, King?
Yeah, doing all right, man.
How you doing, man? You good?
Good, man. I'm good. You know what? I could have been a lot angrier than I am today, but I think how the game's gone, it's one of them, and it's tough to take. I'm in work tomorrow. I was just dreading going into work tomorrow because I work in Timperley, and there is quite a bit of a City contingency there for whatever reason. There's quite a few City fans there, but it's all amicable. Look, I'll shake their hands, congratulate them. Big up Man City, by the way. I will congratulate them, even though I don't want to. You know, I will. I'm not bitter. I will be humble in that. But yeah, could have been a lot worse. So we'll just take the loss and we'll move on, won't we?
Yeah. But it's, to me, the loss just showcased the difference in class between the two football clubs. One thing about football, it exposes everything what's going on at your football club. It lays it bare because there's nowhere to hide. In any sport, it's the field, it's the octagon, it's whatever deficiencies you have as an institution, it lays bare. That's where you see it. So big up to Yemen says, Man UFC, everything Nuruddin said was right. Midfield is dead. That's what I'm talking. People want to tell me about Mason Mount. And like we need to replace Casemiro, mate, and Ericsson. They're dead, man. They can play in the league now and again, but the idea that they're gonna play 60 games next season and Manchester United are gonna fight on all fronts, that's done. That is done out here. But it is what it is. For me, the biggest thing I always say, there's a right way to lose a football game and there's a wrong way to lose. There's 3 results in a football game. You most times, I have to say it because I don't think it sinks in, especially with the FIFA generation. So you win, you lose, you draw. And there's no shame in losing football games. There isn't. There's only one winner in any cup or any final in football. There's one winner and there's a loser, right? But there's a right way to lose and a wrong way to lose. But the cowardly way certain players today, where it's supposed to be a derby and it's a leveler, where you get in people's faces, you aggro. The only guy that was actually putting his body about was Fred. And the only other guy that gives me hope and gives me life, and the only positive that I could take from today's game was Garnacho's energy and Garnacho's presence in that game. But big up to Sean. Big up, Sean. How you doing, bro? I'm sorry that your evening, your night is ruined.
Big up Nerdin. No, it's the rest of my day. So like I barely slept. I dreamt that I had a nightmare. I dreamt that we lost 4-1 to City.
It could have been without the game saves, to be fair.
Woke up this morning and watched the game. It could have been 4-1 like you said, but like I think for me it was just a letdown. Like it was a limp dick performance as far as I'm concerned. Like we just showed up. Like we showed up when people were talking about like open heart surgery for our Fragnick. I think most people fantasize about the people that they hate, the regular guys that they hate, McTominay, Maguire getting rid. That's not open heart surgery. Open heart surgery means looking hard at your faves. If Ten Hag is going to be ruthless, it means some of your favorite players, I don't see them as the ones necessarily take us to the next level. People like Bruno Fernandes, people like Rashford, people like Sancho, milk toast. As far as I'm concerned, David De Gea is a saboteur. I'm convinced that like he's. I don't know about the save that you're talking about that he made today. As far as I'm concerned, Man City had 12 players. There are 11 plus De Gea. De Gea was, for all intents and purposes, playing for the other team today. He was criminal. That second goal, criminal. His distribution today, criminal. It was ridiculous. Like it was as if he was there on their team, just passing the ball to them casually. I don't know, man. Like it was a disappointing game. I think the only people that can hold themselves, head up high. The defense, Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Lindelof, Shaw, Casemiro, Fred, fantastic. Good. 6/10 or even 7. Everybody else, waste of space as far as I'm concerned. And those are the people that you need to look at. United fans, we need to ask ourselves hard questions. Is Bruno Fernandes the person you want in a Champions League semi-final next season? Is Rashford the person you want? Because I'm not sure. And I don't care. Don't tell me about 30 goals this season or 20 assists. That's bullshit. It's the same argument we were making when Ronaldo left, that okay, Ronaldo scored 20 goals. Who's going to score? And before Ronaldo, there was somebody else who was scoring. There will always be goals in the team. But you cannot tell me, like, I was so disgusted with what I was seeing from Sancho, Rashford, and Bruno. That was where we lost the game today. We didn't have an attack. Like, there was nothing happening up front for us. Absolutely nothing. Zero. Ponderous. We're in the middle of a high profile, high intensity game. Bruno gets the ball. What's he trying to do? A backheel flick. To who? To fucking who? We're trying to press. Bruno manages to stick a leg in. What's Sancho doing? He's just looking. Where was Rashford today? That team, it was two strikers, one supposed superstar versus another supposed superstar. Haaland looked terrifying every time he got the ball. Every time he got the ball, he had his hand on Varane's neck or pushing somebody, trying to get a shot away. Can somebody tell me what Rashford did today? I didn't see anything from him.
He jumped out of a fucking 50-50, the ball dropping in the air.
It's embarrassing. See, these guys are happy to play against Southampton. They're happy to play Rashford and Bruno and Sancho. They're happy to play against Southampton, happy to play against Everton, happy to score against even Brighton or whatever. But as far as I'm concerned, they embarrassed themselves today. And I don't want to hear any talk of open heart surgery. And if you're talking about McTominay or Maguire, you're fooling yourselves. Your favorites are the ones holding us back. I'm speaking to all the fans listening here. That's my opinion. That's my opinion, Nuruddin. If we wanna stick in the mediocre level, if we want to stick at third, almost getting there, then keep these guys. Look at De Bruyne making runs. I think look at a world-class midfielder. We saw the difference between a world-class.
We are mediocre football club. We've been for a decade and a half.
No, that's fine. That's fine. So I don't want anybody to come and tell me that open heart surgery means getting rid of Maguire or getting rid of McTominay or getting rid of Fred, because those are low-hanging fruits. That's not open heart surgery. That's cosmetic. If anyone knows what open heart surgery means, open heart is the key. Your heart is the key organ in your body. You cannot have open heart surgery without looking at the most important facet of our team. Our spine is weak. We cannot have Rashford leading our attack next year. It's not possible. We're not going to go anywhere. We cannot have Bruno Fernandes as our main playmaker. It's not possible. We're not going to go anywhere, because when the chips are there, when the stakes are high, he disappears. It's not today. Today will not be the last day, and it's not the first time. Like, if as a club we want to keep fighting for third, fighting for fourth, get to a final, take some solace in that, then let's keep these guys. But if we're serious about doing anything, then Ten Hag needs to be ruthless. Neither of those two players that I mentioned, or those three players that I mentioned, Sancho, Rashford, Bruno, I don't want to hear any they're not walking into my team next season. They have to earn their spot again, as far as I'm concerned. I'm pissed as hell already.
Yeah, big up, Sean, man. Get it off your chest. I'm sorry that your day is ruined. Big up to Tom for joining us. Big up to everybody. Please smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. We said it last night. We said it in the preview. Nothing surprising. So I'm not even that upset. The only thing that upsets me, I thought, they would at least leave it on the football pitch. They would leave, leave every ounce. It's the last game of the season. They will
look at Gundogan. Look at Gundogan, for example. At age 32.
Yeah, listen, here we go. Listen to me. Listen, who the hell am I? Right? I'm not top level coach. I got coach FA Cup, Big Cup 1 and 2. Right? That's my qualifications. But last night on here, I'm fucking telling you about Gundogan. I'm telling you about Gundogan is the danger. Haaland, De Bruyne, they're too obvious. The guy who's a match winner for them in the big games is Gundogan. And they give him the fucking keys to Wembley. At the edge, when I'm at the game, and this Eric Ramsey prick, all these athletic dickheads, the Manchester Evening News, all these other pricks writing, Eric Ramsey, this is highly regarded. He's an excellent set-piece coach. He's doing more coaching now, right? Why are you fucking telling everybody to come inside the fucking 6 yard and hold fucking David De Gea's fucking hand? Where is that? Everybody can see that way they were lining up that. He scored 2 goals. 2 goals. Who was it? Who did they play against? Who did they play against? Was it? I don't know who they played against. He scored 2 goals from the exact same position when they won the league the other day, Man City. Exactly the same area and place. He banged in 2 goals. But Manchester United all go, 11 players going around fucking De Gea, right? And then they give him the free. And then De Gea, all this is coming through bodies, but then it's weak fucking wrist, right? He gets his hand to it, but he can't push it around the corner. So for me, the first goal is a fluke. It's 1 in a billion, that goal, 12 seconds. That can happen anytime. It's a fluke. It's a freak of nature. The second goal is fucking disturbing on many, many levels. And who the fuck am I? I'm the guy who lives in Hume. But I said Gundogan is the threat. I explained it. I went on a rant telling them they've got to watch out for Gundogan. But what did they do? Leave him fucking free. Big up to Mupsi. Mupsi says this. I think we put a bit more of a fight, but we lack quality. City could have scored more, but we didn't let them. Still good season, but we need to improve. Well, the game made two saves with his feet. So at the end of the day, it could have been 4-1. That's why I say 4-1. But it is what it is. But Tom, you were at Wembley. I'm glad I didn't spend the money that I was going to spend and go there, because I'll be on the way back by now. A lot of the people I was supposed to go with, they're on the way back as we speak right now. So you were at Wembley. You saw it live. Talk to me. How did you see the game?
I think from a lot of people's perspectives, emotions and tensions were high at this moment in time. We're passionate, about our football club, and the one thing I say from what I saw, especially from watching the game live that I haven't watched in the last couple of months, ever since I've been to a Manchester United game, was I can see that Erik ten Hag is very passionate about our football club, and I think really in terms of the big occasion, with better quality players, we would have probably gave City a lot better of a game than we actually maybe should have done. The lack of quality, you can see the gulf in quality between the two teams. It's there for everybody to see. Like, it wasn't, we can look at it from quality and perspective of individual players, and we'll get onto that. But in terms of the whole team, the first 12, 13 seconds of the game, like, I don't care what the sort of area is. Pep Guardiola had a plan straight away from kickoff. Erling Haaland was not central, but he's supposed to be their number 9. He pulls out wide and he wins the header against somebody who he's expected to win a header against. And Eriksen is Shaw, somebody like that who's normally in that sort of left, right and field area on the pitch at left back in sort of area.
It was Lindelof.
But yeah, I know I'm getting Sean. In terms of Lindelof, he's the one who's been then stepped forward, and he's completely misread the ball. People will say that there was a little nick and deflection off Kevin De Bruyne. I haven't watched it back on TV, so I wouldn't really know that. But the whole preparation in terms of the first, I would have said, 20, 30 seconds in that first phase of the play, it was absolutely abysmal. It was as if we'd absolutely fallen asleep, completely fallen asleep. And look, I've always said with this team, whenever we go a goal behind, we always try and come back into a game. That's the one thing I can always say about this team. I don't care who we play against, we always have a little phase where we come back into the game. And we had that little bit of phase, penalty or no penalty. I mean, love it or hate it, you get them go for you, get them go against you. So I'm not going to sit here and argue, because if Boot was on the other foot, I don't think a lot of Manchester City fans would be throwing up in arms if it went against Manchester United. So you can take the penalty for what it is, but individual performances and errors have cost us once again. Like, we have to admit in saying this, from what I saw, because I had full view of the pitch, like, we know how big Wembley is as a pitch, and I said in the preview, Manchester City, this is their playground. A big pitch, the length, the space. The only thing that can burn Manchester City is the counter-attack, for which we didn't utilise at all, really, in the game, if I'm being completely honest. Not like we did, for example, when we played Newcastle at Wembley in Carabao Cup final. We utilised the counter-attack brilliantly in that game. But the one thing I would say that I've noticed anyway, and I know it's the end of the season, we can all sing, whatever praise you want to sing about Erik ten Hag. He does not have his players to play the way that he wants to. Because I saw an Ajax team and I don't care in the gulf between Ajax and Manchester United. I saw the sort of football he wants to play. When we was watching him when he was at Ajax, and what I saw today, these players are a completely different profile. Eriksen does not have the legs to run around in midfield, and we said this in the preview. You can bring Fred in, which, if we're being honest here, if we didn't play Fred, would have been in bags of trouble because the legs actually mobiling around the field. Eriksen, I thought he was a passenger for pretty much most of the game, if not all of it. Barring a couple of touches here and there, setting a counter attack off or something like that. That was really all he was there for. Even set pieces, we were shocking. Like, let's be real. When we had a corner, I didn't really think we were going to pose a major threat to Manchester City. But at the end of the day, the game could have been a lot worse than it was. We can say it for what it is. Individual errors. I've said enough about David De Gea this season. We've seen it enough times in the league. He nearly cost us the top four, for Christ's sake, in the league. And you can say, clean sheets and all this nostalgia and everything. Listen, when you want to be a goalkeeper in the modern day era, the basics of goalkeeping is be a good shot stopper. Because if you're not a good shot stopper, you wouldn't even be a goalkeeper in the first place. So you need all the other credentials with it. And Manchester United, we need that. And the thing that I especially see with Erik ten Hag is he's looked at a lot of those players, and from what I saw anyway, a lot of those players, I think the writing's on the wall. I think a lot of them know either they're going out of the door or they won't be starting next season if he gets his way with some of the players he wants to bring in. David De Gea, I think, probably will be one of them. Jadon Sancho is most definitely another one. And look, we can say it for what it is. Some players have had problems and stuff in the season, but we're in a rehabilitation centre. I'm sorry. You've had months now, Jadon Sancho. You've had time out of the game to sort your head out. Whatever's gone on personally wise, we support you and we respect you in that regard. And the club have, if you like, pulled him away from the firing line, and then we put him back into the phase of play. But you had, 70 minutes on the field? Alejandro Garnacho came in for 20 minutes and he was burning Kyle Walker to pieces. And I don't, like I say, I just don't know what it is with a lot of these players. And I've said it before, and I'll always keep the same phrase. These players, a lot of them, they're a bag of nerves. They are a bag of nerves away from home. I don't care if it's on neutral territory or away. They are a bag of nerves when you go up against a team that you're not expected to win, but you're at least expected to compete against. But the only thing I'm going to say anyway is Erik ten Hag is the right manager that we need to get us to those sort of places. Wembley, a trip to Wembley every single season, pushing on throughout the European competitions like we want to do. And you've got your way in being back in the Champions League. So we're all happy. You can do streams now on a Tuesday night. But at the end of the day, the eye test doesn't lie to you in terms of some of these players. And I think Erik ten Hag, if he didn't know already, he does know now what he needs. And people will say from Y to Z, we don't have a number 9, no. But at this moment in time, we don't even have a goalkeeper that can play the way that we want to play. When Manchester City's backup goalkeeper outshines your first team goalkeeper, I think it says it all, really, at the end of the day. And love it or hate it, we have to move. And Manchester City, I'll hold my hands up in saying it. Performance that I saw from City, they weren't amazing, but they do enough to win. And that's all that you need in football. And I said this before, performance at Wembley doesn't matter. The result is all that matters. And Manchester City, they weren't the complete article, but they were better than us in terms of the article rather than us in this performance. So for me, I think Erik ten Hag, we've got the right manager for the future plot if he gets what he wants, but we have to be ruthless in this summer window. Nostalgia and legacy players who have been here more than 5-6 years, mate, it doesn't need to happen. No. Youth players who's on £300,000 a week. I don't want to hear it. He dropped Harry Maguire, who's the club captain, so I think he can do it with players like Jadon Sancho and blow smoke up their arse. And David De Gea, mate, if you want to stay at Manchester United, you can bump those wages down a lot more than what you're wanting right now. Let's put it like that. Because you can't even start for Spain, mate. You can't. If a Spanish, one of the best Spanish coaches that I know anyway, in Luis Enrique, picks 3 average, if you want to be honest, La Liga goalkeepers ahead of you, I think it speaks volumes about playing the Johan Cruyff model of football, which we know Erik ten Hag wants to play, but as we've seen today anyway, he can't. You saw what he wants to ultimately, the finished article wants to be similar to what Pep does, dictate play, control games, but he doesn't have his own players. He has, well, he doesn't. I think he barely has 2 or 3 of his own players in there today after the injuries and stuff. And one of them was a 3 transfer in Ericsson, who was a passenger. So look at it from whatever. But no, in terms of the overall day, I enjoyed it, to be honest with you. Like I said, I want to go back to Wembley a lot more times. And
there you go, Tom.
Eric Ten Hag's brought us there twice this season, so I think we do need to sing his praises in some respects, because this team last season we were flat falling on his ass. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I think that's a nice look at it. Listen, like Bumbaye said last night, we're living on a prayer. We are living on a prayer. Big up Jarvis. Jarvis, how did you see the game? And big up to our Claire, the queen of the chat. Rashford, Bruno carried us sources, and apparently Rashford has been carried. Listen, it's no excuses. There's no excuses, Claire, but I get what you're saying. We called it in this channel. We called it 4 or 5 months ago. We said the burnout was coming. For me, this team was done. Any fighting and any intensity was done after that final. They over-celebrated that Mickey Mouse fucking shit trophy at Wembley in February. After that, we were done. We were done in terms of level of intensity and where we could get to. So at the end of the day, it's what it is. But no excuses. To me, Rashford was a fucking disgraceful today. Jumping out of a fucking way of the ball in the air and letting Rodri take the ball. Nah, I'm not here for that. I don't care. If you're injured, don't play. Get the fuck off the pitch. It's simple. Go ahead, Jarvis. How did you see the game?
Yeah, on a day like this, we are all hurting as United fans.
No, listen. Genuinely, I'm not hurting. What hurts me is that they play like cowardly, because there's no shame in losing a football game. There's a right way to lose and there's a wrong way to lose. It's only 3 results in the football: lose, win, draw. But you want your team to go. They gave everything, and they were just unlucky on the day, or the other team was just had amazing quality. Man City did not play. They didn't get out of second gear. But go ahead.
Yeah, as I was saying, I think we're all hurting on a day like this. And, it's tough sitting here on screen talking to you guys about football on a day like this. So everybody, there's 350 people watching and we have 70 likes. So everybody hit that like. We know we need it. Come on. And on the game, we didn't learn anything new. We knew that Ericsson was gassed out. His legs are gone this season because of the injury. We knew that Sancho was going to hide. He was going to ghost away. We knew that De Gea couldn't play out from the back. We knew that Rashford is overplayed, and he don't have the physicality to play as a number 9 alone on top. He's not tough enough. So it was nothing new. And it happened again and again and again. So it frustrates me that we never try. We never try anything new. We know what's going to happen. It's not even Ten Hag's fault, because we don't have we don't have the bench. What was he supposed to do? Should he start McTominay over Fred? Should he start Pilestri instead of Sancho? Should he start Butland in goal? No, there's no options. So for me, it is what it is. We lost the game to a team. Even City, today they were beatable. We could have beaten them because they were not on top. They were not on top of their game. But even then, they were too good. So we just gotta keep faith, hope that the Glazers are out this summer and that Ten Hag get the players he wants so we can compete. Because, that's what I want us to do. I want us to compete. I want to compete against the best teams. I don't want to be like this when City play a bad game and don't come out of second gear. They can beat us. If he had scored 2-2, they would just put on the gas, the foot on the throttle, and get another goal. It was a kind of game. So I'm disappointed, but not really.
Yeah, big up Jarvis. Appreciate you always bringing the calmness and the composure. Irfan, I'm a guy who lives in Hume. You've known me for over 20 years, and I've got FA coaching badge 1 and 2. That's what I have. I don't have UEFA badge. I don't have any fancy badges. I've got FA coaching level 1 and level 2. I've done a little bit of my sports degree, coaching, and a little bit when I came out of that university. I talked about yesterday in the preview, I specifically said Gundogan is the danger man. I specifically emphasized Gundogan is the guy who's the big match winner in these games at the end of every season for them. He's the guy who gets the goals. He's the guy that goes into areas that is hard to pick up. Manchester United on a fucking free kick. First of all, in this season, in the last 3 months, I've read endless articles from whether it's the Telegraph, whether it's the Athletic, whether it's the fucking Manchester Evening News, where they're telling me about Eric Ramsey. Eric Ramsey Eric Ramsey is wanted by Wales, or Eric Ramsey is fancied by this guy. If he's so great, then get the F out of Manchester United. He is the set beat specialist there, fan. He puts every player in the team to go inside the box, and without any of them using their intelligence. So me, Casemiro leadership means fuck all. Varane leadership means fuck all. Bruno's captain leadership means fuck all. Because you know what, Irfan? In the critical fucking moments, is those players who think, shit, where's the danger? Where is the danger? Where is the danger? And they all, like little sheep, all get inside the fucking box and like they're holding hands with David fucking De Gea, who's a coward, by the way, in corners as well. And then he takes a shot, miskicks it, not even with that much tempo, because it comes through a lot of bodies. Dave gets his hand to it and they can't push it away. That is sums Manchester United up. If Manchester City scored 2 worldies, 3 worldies there, fam. If Haaland got the ball, close control feet, took it out, 30 yards out, bent at top corner, no problem. It's like the first goal. At complete fluke that first goal. 12 seconds. They could have done better. Eriksen should have got closer. Fred was ball watching. You know, Lindelof could have done a lot more with a header to header it maybe further. But he goes to him and he smashed it. Four keepers are not saving that. That's just a miraculous goal. The second goal for me is fucking disturbing on every level. When I'm at the game, I scream all season. Hold tight Shauna, hold tight Siobhan, hold tight Bill. I sit next to them and I'm always screaming. At the edge, I see it. Who the hell am I? How the hell am I, a guy in Hume, who can sense danger? I'm screaming at the television. Gundogan, don't leave him. But go ahead, F.
Look, you know, you're angry, Nuruddin. You're still frustrated.
I'm not angry. Listen, Irfan, trust me, I'm not angry.
Nuruddin, you're angry and frustrated, okay? You're angry and frustrated.
No. Irfan, I'm angry at the fact that the cowards did not leave everything on the football pitch. There's no shame in losing. I'm one of the lucky ones. I'm one of the most spoiled Manchester United fans. In my lifetime, United lifted every effing trophy. Right? And they've lost big finals before. But you know, in those finals, United gave everything. Like 2011 final against Barcelona. They tried everything in that game. Barcelona were just too good.
All right, so give me an example.
Manchester City today, Irfan, not even in second gear. They were in first gear, threatening to go second gear. They were not. That was one of the easiest games of football they'll play. If they play like that, I'll be shocked if the game will be that easy as it was today against Inter Milan. I'll be absolutely shocked. But go ahead. I'm Irfan. You've seen me rant. I'm not angry. Look, people were telling me. Let me finish. People were telling me last night to go on this, live on a prayer, and to go and live on this fantasy that somehow Manchester United can do it. No, I said it last night. I spelled it out. I said at the areas where Manchester United need to be careful. I talked about it. I talked about the tactics. It's about the last when we're defending. Watch out. Do not give Gundogan any space. Do not give him ounce of space. I talked about it. I said where we can hurt them. It's the ball from Casemiro to Bruno to Rashford. Rashford and Bruno, ghost. Casemiro diving about, it was embarrassing at times. Absolutely a ghost as well. Varane, Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, Shaw could not leave because he knows he'd get exposed. He knows nobody's going to come and help him, so he couldn't go up the pitch. So for that first half, he's just staying inside his own half. So I'm not angry because I saw this coming. And I told everybody, Manchester United have 20% miraculous chance of winning. And I said, if City turn up, we could get smashed. And they didn't turn up. With David De Gea made the 2 saves, it could have been 4-1. But go ahead. I'll move.
Yeah, but look, tell me a game where you saw this team battle all the way to the end, like battle hard. This is not that team. This is not that team.
Spurs at Old Trafford.
Oh, come on, Nuruddin. One game against a shit team like Spurs, an more inconsistent team than us. Come on.
Spurs weren't shit then. They were not
Nuruddin,
shit.
this team does not have it in them. They don't have it in them. They do not have it in them, right? So, look, you can talk about, oh, it was a very poor performance by City, second gear coasting. Look, let's be honest. Let's just even go before the first goal scored after whatever, 12, 13 seconds. This is a big occasion. It's the first time it's a derby in an FA Cup final. They're nervous. We're nervous. Facts. Whether we like it or not. I don't care how good they are. Everyone's nervous at occasion. We get hit by a goal where you can say, okay, were you sleeping or was that like anyone was going to, that would have gone against anyone. I wouldn't say it would have gone against a team that would have been on it from the first second would have squeezed a lot tighter, not giving the opposition and watch where he was, right? So, but a bottle job team like us to try even get a chance to come back from scoring, losing a goal after 13 seconds, this team could have collapsed. Let's be honest. The fact that we got to get our jail card with that handball, right? I said to myself, if we let them score again, we're done. That was the one gift that we were going to get. We're not going to get another gift like that, okay? So, but it reverted back to type. It reverted back to the team that cannot create chances, a team that's got no striker, a team that's headless up front, right? What did you expect? You can get away with against shitty teams like the bottom half or whatever, or teams that are inconsistent, but you're not going to get away with it against a team like City because they will expose every facet of your weakness in your game, every single one. That team could have played for 6 games more and they wouldn't have created a chance. They would not create. They're not a chance. They bring Garnacho on. Who's Garnacho going to head it to? Who's he going to cross it to? Who's going to score a header from him? Who's going to create something? Who's going to get on the end of one of his shots? We'd have a striker. So look, this is why I'm not as pissed off as all Man United fans because, like I said, I knew we were going to lose. It's horrible that we lost to a team that was in second gear, but this is our level. It exposed everything about our level. We're not fighters. We're not winners. We're not that team yet. The fact that we got to the final got our fans giddy, right? The bookies gave us 20% chance to win, all right? No other sport I knew was, I said we'd get beat 3-1. We got beat 2-1. But the bottom line is, the fact he got us there is the result. But this sums up our season where we flatter to deceive. We get excited. Oh, yeah, we're in the final. We got no chance. We're lucky we got here to a degree because that little bit of form we've been showing here and there to sort of win 1-0s and 2-1s or whatever, it sort of kept us going. But you can't at this level because you need the players. And like I said, I don't understand why he didn't take Eriksen off earlier. I don't understand that. I don't. You could see the game passed him by straight away. I'm not going to go hard on Casemiro. All right, fair enough. He's an aging guy. Let's face it. They've all played too many. You said it before again and again. They've played too many games. Now look, the bottom line is, I don't know more what Ten Hag could have done because you cannot change these players. Too many people are past it, and too many people are not at the level. And I said this to you last time, that equation of where are your players in terms of the peak of their careers. City have got nearly all of them are around their peak. I don't think anyone's past their peak. They're all around the peak or before their peak. We've got players past their peak and not at the peak. So look, miracles are not going to happen. Miracles rarely happen. Any guy that thought United had a chance of this was living in dream world because of our attack. Defense might save us now and again, but attack will always get found out. And it got found out again today. And the fact he has to switch it around, play Bruno on the right and all this kind of accommodate players, this is just it. Our fans just need to say, look, guys, it was their hope was that we made the final. We were all excited about maybe we can fluke that 1-0 or whatever. But reality just slapped us across the face. And this is the level we're at. We have to take it. The fact that we got to the final exposes us as like better than we actually are, because we're not a final team. I don't know if you know, with this team, you know, you ever get it to the final again. So look, props to Ten Hag for that thing, but Ten Hag cannot do what Ralph Rangnick said, because like I said, it needs open heart surgeries. You have to buy winners, or if you have, or you're a manager that can make winners. And I don't see that in Man United's team. I just don't. That's why I'm not asked. You know, I was angry for an hour after we lost the game because I thought, what a way to lose the game. But then I thought, we've lost this way before. We've lost pathetically. Because if you think about this one, just compare it to the loss against Sevilla. Now, what was cowardly? That one was 5 times more cowardly than this one. So we got it in them. This team has got that cowardice in them. And that includes so many of the stars.
No, but
So I'm here to tell you the truth and give my opinion of how I saw it. And, you know, regardless of whatever happens, this is the level we are at. So, guys, just chill and accept that we just got to hope that that infectious disease that runs our club is going to be out and he can do some proper thingy. Otherwise, next season, it's the same old shit where you just don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to go round and round and round, like that hamster running round and round and round. That's what we are, okay?
I think the idea that the Glazers disappearing tomorrow suddenly fix our problems is as fantastical as, you know, thinking that we could have beaten Man City today.
Wait, Sean, I'm not implying that. I'm implying a proper owner with proper sporting directors, proper buying policy, and a proper system as run. I'm not. No, because you're jumping on the first point about me saying.
I hear all of that. All I want to focus on. All I want to focus on, Irfan, is 90 minutes today. The grander scheme of things, that's all well and good to consider. But 90 minutes today, we did not have to lose this game the way we did, the way we lost it. Some people did their job. About 6 players in the team did their job. The defense, Casemiro and Fred, did their job today. Showed up, made it hard for City to play. Everybody's talking about how City didn't get out of second gear. They couldn't, because we closed all the spaces in between. Where we lacked, everyone on the preview yesterday, out of 6 United fans, 0 had Eriksen in their starting 11. If you took a poll of all the United fans in the world, worldwide, I doubt maybe more than 5% will have had Eriksen in their starting 11. Can somebody tell me why or what Ten Hag thought was going to happen?
Because he thinks he can pass better than McTominay. That's why he plays. He thinks he's got a pass there.
But anyone could have told you that it was going to go exactly the way it went today, and it went exactly the way we had expected it to. That is on the manager. That is on the manager for his naivete today, showing up like from the first goal. That space, that hole there that Gundogan found himself. That was a midfielder's hole. It was 4 defenders, a straight line you could see. Lindelof couldn't win his header. There was somebody on De Bruyne and who was empty in the middle there. Gundogan, who was supposed to be tracking him? I ask you, Eriksen. So what is Ten Hag? I mean, what is anyone supposed to do about the fact that De Gea, for example, can't pass a ball to save his life? That De Gea today was playing as if he was on the opposing team. All these things about, like, you know, open heart surgery, changing ownership somewhere. It's about 90 minutes on the football pitch. Is the manager making the right decisions? I'm glad that, like, you know, this idea that we shouldn't be surprised or we shouldn't be angry. I'm pissed as hell.
Sean, you had a chance to change it earlier. Everyone could see after 25 minutes this is not going to happen.
Exactly. No, we could see before the game that it wasn't going to happen. Like, even during the game, before the game, we all knew exactly what was going to happen. The manager needs to be braver, in my opinion. And so our next is, I guess, like, you know, he's shooting himself in the foot. So on one hand, tactically drilling the players, setting up the defense so that, like, you know, there will be no spaces and
hold on.
Yeah.
Right, you're saying that Erik Ten Hag needs to be braver. With what though, Sean? What else can he do?
Something
much all of us asked.
Something that I didn't ask for. I didn't ask for Eriksen in the midfield. I said it yesterday. We all said it yesterday. Anyone who talked about United says it. That Eriksen, we're pretty much playing.
Overload the midfield. That's what pretty much.
We didn't overload the midfield today, and I said it on the preview yesterday. It's not possible to overload the midfield against City, because it's more than a question of midfield. It's more than a question of that space, that center circle. It's the way the whole team plays. It's the fact that, like, you know, the keeper can ping a ball from. There was no press. Like, our press today was so naive. Like, within 1, 2, 3 passes, they were through our press, and then into the midfield. It's no matter who you play against City, there's no chance of dominating the midfield. What you need to beat City is ball carriers and people who make good decisions where they have the ball. So look at first leg against Madrid. What Camavinga did,
which we have neither of, Sean. So
which we have neither of. So why?
How is that on Eric Ten Hag if he doesn't have those tools to actually use? I don't understand.
No, I'm saying you make do with the tools that you have. You don't use a shoe to farm. Like you get the you make two with no ball carrier. But like why play Eriksen in the midfield when you know that's an automatic handicap?
McTominay would have done a better job. Is that what you're saying?
That's a counterfactual that neither of us can prove.
Well,
but if you ask me my opinion, if you ask me my opinion, I think that was my team yesterday. It was Casemiro, Fred, and McTominay, and then Bruno on the right, Sancho on the left.
All right, Sean.
And Rashford in front.
Let me ask you a question. Hold on. I'll ask you to Nuruddin, right? This is all for all Man United fans who watch every single game, and I'll start with Nuruddin. Did you realize that Eriksen was going to be a liability today, having watched the last 4 or 5 games where you see he's not quite on it? You can see. Right. So, because Sean has got a point, but I want you to just go elaborate a bit further.
But of course, everybody knows. And you saw him in the second, you saw him in the first half, ghost. Absolutely ghost. Same with Workhorse. The game's too fast for them.
Yeah.
The game's too physical and too fast for them. We got dominated. We got dominated in midfield. They ran the midfield. They did. I still stand by it. They didn't need to get out in first gear. They didn't.
I mean, look at it from this. Look at it from this perspective. Manchester City can field 2 squads, and even their second squad is probably good enough to maybe even still get to Wembley at a semi-final. Man United, we don't even have a complete 11 that we can all agree upon in saying that should be our starting 11 week in, week out, because we don't have a consistent 11. A lot of people on this panel have different opinions on if David De Gea should be number 1 or not. We all have different opinions on who should be playing probably right back out of Wan-Bissaka and Dalot. We all disagree on the midfield because there's no consistency, and we can't even agree upon a striker because we never have one to even choose from anyway.
No, but Tom, we don't get paid £200,000 or so, like a week or a month, to make those decisions. It's fine if we don't all know, but the manager, the person who is at the top, he shouldn't be playing. He shouldn't be making such juvenile or naive decisions like playing Eriksen in the midfield against Man City when you know he's not going to have.
Sean, let me ask you a question then. I'll ask you, why did he play Eriksen? I'll ask you, Sean, why did he play him? Why did he play him?
Yeah. I was about to say before, I listened to Pep's press conference before. Like, he said something that really embarrassed me. They asked him if he expected any surprises from Ten Hag. He said no. Like, who the hell does Ten Hag think he is that he can be as predictable as everybody seems to think that he is? You cannot do that. He's learning some lessons in the Premier League. I would grant you that he's learning some lessons in the Premier League in the first season, and so we have to take it the good with the bad. But the fact that everybody said if you play this team this way, we're going to lose because we're going to get run around in the midfield. And he did exactly what everyone said he shouldn't do, and we ended up with this situation. I think it's embarrassing. I don't think it was a foregone conclusion that we lost the game. I think once the whistle blows at 90 minutes, it's anybody's game. That's football. That's literally what it is. Anyone's game. I think it matters how you show up on the pitch. Like we're talking about the first 13 seconds of goal. I didn't even realize I had just set myself up. I just set up. I was looking at something. Next thing I heard, goal. What are we doing? What is De Gea doing? I think there was a sequence of 7 passes where De Gea played the ball straight to a Man City player. What the hell? What the hell is that? Bruno, every time he got the ball, we're trying to build up from the back. The ball gets to Bruno. Does he make the right decision? No, he tries to flick it on to somebody. He tries to do a no-look pass and turn around. He tries to hit a crossfield pass and passes it straight to a City player. It's mind-blowing. Everybody's talking about the Inter final. Watch how Inter is going to play. Do you think Inter has better players than us? Than United? I don't. But you will see people who will show up. We're talking about Gundogan. What's Gundogan good at? He works hard. We're talking about the City team. Forget all the tactics, forget all the technique. They work hard. They work very hard. Haaland is stealing the ball from Casemiro. Akanji is coming from behind, or what's the guy coming from behind to catch Rashford or Sancho in a foot race. We did not need to lose this game today. I think it was an embarrassment. I'm angry. I know everyone else is calm, talking about how what's for game condition. I'm pissed as hell. I don't think we needed to lose this way.
Of course you are. It's clear as day.
Like, listen to me. I'm not that angry genuinely. I'm angry at the fact that the cowards had the chance to preserve history and to fight for the future. Because 12 years ago, this month, last month gone May, was the time where the massive switch happened, where they basically the power shifted, where Yaya Torres scored at Wembley, scored a fantastic goal, and they beat us in that semi-final. That to me was the day when Manchester United did what they did with Woodward and the Glazers, and they went on. They will do everything it is, break the rules, bend, cheat, whatever, to win because they're winners. Their owners dictate how they win. They dictate, they help the manager, they have the football structure. The objective is clear, is to dominate football. And if we get the Ratcliffe, as everybody's saying, and the Glazers, the 6 Glazers now who's going to stay, look, forget their treble. They're going to do a couple of quadruples in the next decade. They're going to dominate in the next decade. Mark my fucking words. You can clip this. You can fucking clip this. And I'm saying it, not because I feel defeated, whatever, because I know if you don't get your house in order, if you don't have your house in order, when you get on that football pitch, your team gets on that, you're going to be exposed for everything it is. In football pitches, in main sport arenas, there's nowhere to hide. Any sort of structural issues gets exposed right there and then. But big up to everybody. I'll go Eski. Eski, where do we go here? Big ups, I already need to world class. This makes me laugh. Big up Yassin Mohammed, by the way. Listen, same name as my brother, my younger brother. Listen, big up to you, bro. Let me say something to you now. If you think getting Frank Kiddy on Harry Kane is going to make Manchester United challenge for the league, then I can't help you. I cannot help you. I said it. I've been saying it for the past month. Manchester United need 5 or 6 first-team players to replace the players who are on the football pitch. 5, 6 play starters. Starting for the goalkeeper, a dominant centre half. To me, 3 midfielders we need, but I'll take 2 in this transfer. And then I'll take a striker, and then I will take somebody who's creative. We can rest Bruno and alternate between him and Bruno, who's got quality on the ball and can unlock defenses. But we're not going to find that because Manchester United are not. Radcliffe, everything I'm hearing, Radcliffe and the Glazers, 6 Glazers, he said 2 first. Now he's like, 4 of you, all of you can stay now. I'm going to give you the investment. Fuck Elliott Group. And that's what we're facing at this football club. But I'll come to you, Eski. How do we move on from here? I'm going to make a prediction quickly.
Go on.
I said it on the past shows. If Eric Ten Hag does on a 5 starting lineup players next season, where he can alternate, and somebody said it here perfectly, I think. Let me find a quote. Here we go. I've been saying this. Eric Ten Hag's managed our squad horribly this season. Good man management, but horrible fixture squad management. Facts. The difference is that Pep Guardiola has the squad, can alternate, rotate, players you don't see, players that you not see for months. I didn't see Phil Foden for about 3 or 4 months this season. He might have been injured, but he's not been injured all of that time, taking out the team. Somebody else plays there. A couple of seasons ago, it was Gundogan. Sorry, a couple of seasons, it was Gundogan that was taken out. It was Silva that was taken out. Every season, he takes a player out, gives them. And today, he took off Silva and Gundogan, if I'm not mistaken. Was it Silva and Gundogan? He took off. He took off De Bruyne and somebody else, and Grealish with 10 minutes to go. Confident level of confidence that he has in his team. At the end of the day, it's this. I said it, and I said the reason why Liverpool failed to deceive is that they didn't recruit enough the summer before, last summer. They didn't recruit knowing the World Cup was coming up and the fixture congestion. And they went all out last season, 4 trophies, and the burnout happened. Mark my words. Clip this, anybody who wants to clip it. If Eric Ten Hag's not back by 4 or 5 starting lineup footballers next season, starting from the goalkeeper, all the way down, Manchester United are going to be battling 6th or 7th next season. Mark my fucking
But
word.
Nuruddin, is it going to play them? Isn't Ten Hag the type of person that plays the same 11? Isn't that one of our problems with him? He will just have 11 of players that just keep playing the same team over and over again.
John, let me say this to you now, bro. Playing first 11 in the area fucking divisa and playing it in the Premier League is like Jupiter and fucking the sun. That's what it. That's the levels. Playing football on the sun or maybe Jupiter or Mars, where there might be water. The levels of Premier League compared to Aerial Divisa, when Ajax are by far the best resources in that country, and they are going to dominate majority of the football and the games, and then doing that at the Premier League, different kettle of fucking fish, totally different. So mark my words, you think this season was bad, you think this burnout was bad, wait, and you know what will be trending on Twitter? Ten Hag out, Ten Hag is a fraud, Ten Hag is this, and what will they do? The club, they will stab in the back like they stab every other fucking manager in the back. But go ahead, Eski. Where do we go from here? Where do you think we go from here? Go ahead.
Look, I think everyone, if you cast your minds back to the start of the season, if I were to tell you we've won a cup, come third, and got to the FA Cup final, you'd have thought I was smoking what thingies on Zayn Miassi, right? But the reality is, Erik Ten Hag has been dealt from the first week he signed, shit hand after shit hand. Owners giving him fake promises, Murta and Arnold lying to him in transfer windows. He's not had his perfect starting 11 for about, he's had probably twice where he could pick a starting 11 that he wanted to pick. Start of the season and maybe the City game at home where we won, right? Even today where we needed Anthony, we needed Martial, we got no Martinez, right? Look at our front line. Our front line wasn't that great because Sancho's on the left. He's had his better games on the right recently. Rashford's not a striker, we know that, and he's ducking out 50-50 balls. But to be fair, Nurdin, with that 50-50 he ducked out, right? It was horrible and I screamed at my TV. He has a back injury, right? He has a bad back injury, and we know what that's like. So that gets into play. Do you know when you break a leg, you don't go into certain tackles anymore. Do you know what I mean? It's a mentality thing, you know. Like I thought Luke Shaw would never put a tackle in again. If he ever recovered after that, do you know what I mean? Some players have it in them where after a massive injury like that, they don't do things. It looked horrible to see Nuruddin, I know, but I give him a bit of slack for that. But I think Erik Ten Hag has to go from here. He has to assess the season, look at it objectively, and say, I wasn't backed properly. I've worked miracles with a lot of duffers. Absolute piles of turd, a lot of them, right? Casemiro, yeah, for the most part of the season, he's helped us, right? And the signings that he's made has helped us a lot. And I agree with you, Nuruddin. After we won the Carabao Cup, we fell off massively. The season peaked there. But I think he needs to look at it objectively and say, identify key areas that we need. And like I think Tom was saying, or Sean, be ruthless. If you're 50-50 on a player, get rid of him. We've had it for years with managers like, oh, Fred, we like him. Shaw, we like him. I'm not knocking Shaw today. I think he had a good game. That's just an example. But someone like Fred, where you're not sure, McTominay, you're not sure, Harry Maguire, we're definitely not sure. David De Gea, we're not sure. Golden Glove winner, but he does that today. I was speaking to a City fan after the game, chatting to him. I was like, David De Gea. He said, oh, well, he's won the Golden Glove. I said, no, Lisandro Martinez, Varane, and everyone else who's in front of him have won that Golden Glove for him. He's made the most errors in the Premier League leading to a goal. So how can you have that and the Golden Glove winner? It's not adding up. He's had a good defence and he's been saved time and time again. And I think there's at least 7 games I can count on where he's cost us. There was obviously early on in the season, Sevilla, today, just notable ones that stick out. Even the Liverpool game, some of them goals were fucking just right at him. But the point being, I think a big clear out is needed. I could list you 10 players that we can sell, but half of them are on loan, and just assess it from there. I mean, look at it. I was saying to the City guy as well. Arsenal went from 8th, 5th to then challenging Manchester City. All right, they bottled it. But football's quick, Nuruddin. You know how it is. Liverpool went from the laughing stock of the country to Europe. 4 or 5 years in charge, and the manager knows what he's doing. Signed a top-class keeper. I've got to emphasise that. When Guardiola and Klopp both signed their keepers, they both kicked on from there. It's no secret that having a top keeper wins you a league. Look at every keeper that's won the Premier League last 20 years. Kasper Schmeichel, Peter Schmeichel, Van der Sar, Cech. All these big guys, right? David De Gea did win one. But all these keepers, top-class keepers, you can bet your house on them, right? So I think what it should do, to answer it shortly, I agree with you, Nuruddin. Sign 4 or 5 players in the spine of the team. Striker, midfielder, defender, keeper. Everything else should sort itself out. But that's what I do. Identify your targets. Get these fucking on. Every time I see Joe Glazer on the screen, yeah, almost smash my TV. Sick of his fucking face, right? But I think just get these lot out. Identify your key signings and strengthen the spine of the team. And I don't think we're far away. I don't think we're going to challenge next season. I'm not under no illusion. I think in 2 years' time, he should be able to assemble the squad together, given the backing to compete with Manchester City.
Yeah, big up. I'll go to you, Jarvis, how do Manchester United recover from? How do we? Is there a way? What's going forward? And do you disagree with any of my assessment about next season and about we played over 60 games? That was what 60 something, I think 62nd or 60 whatever it was. Guys, 500 of you in here. I know some of you are in here to take the piss, but smash a like on the video. We're analyzing the results. It was the last game of the season. It's been a long season, so the least you can do, smash a like on for the content and pick up everybody for that. Yeah, listen, for me, the City fans in the chat, the city is blue, 100%. It's your time to dominate, and you dominate. You're doing it properly. So it must be great time to be Manchester City fan, because I remember you in the old third division when 35,000 of you guys were singing we're shit and we know we are. So I know the real City fans, but all you born again jumping on the bandwagon City fans, listen, without Dubai money, you would be mid fucking table relegation fodder. So don't get fucking too cocky, right? We know, and plus all of the fucking charges, 100-something charges that you're facing. But at least one thing I would say about your owners, they're willing to do everything to win. And I can't say the same about my fucking that to me is the bit where I'm envious that we've got exact opposite owners. I always say to everybody, if Liverpool fans got in a room with Arsenal fans, with City fans, with Leeds fans, all of them got in a room and cooked up a plan to destroy Manchester United, they wouldn't have never come up with a plan like the Glazers. Never. But Jarvis, where do we go from here? And did you see any of the things I'm predicting about the future next season if Erik ten Hag's not back properly? It's not just that. I think Manchester United need to sign players. We need to question some of his signings, Erik ten Hag's. We can't just give him everything that he needs. I don't agree with Mount. I don't rate Mount. I can say that I can disagree as a fan. But if Mount comes and balls, then like I always say, I will print out an apology. I will be live on camera and I'll chop the pieces up of the paper on my apology and eat it live on camera. That's what I would do. That's what I will always say would do. And I said the same thing about fucking Harry Maguire. But if Manchester United miss out on Casado, it will be like missing out on Kante for a fucking decade. But go ahead.
Yeah, first of all, listen, when we lose, we go on each other, we go on the players, But I always say it's a difference between shaving and cutting off your head. That's what I'm saying. So now everybody says, okay, Ten Hag never changes his team. He always played the same 11. No, it's not true. Factual. We saw in the beginning of the season, he played players in form. He chose McTominay in front of Casemiro. He chose Malacia in front of Shaw and players like that. So, if he has a squad, he will rotate. The problem is he has no squad. We have injuries, we have suspensions and all that. So, okay, let's keep the facts clear when we have a discussion. And second of all, Nuruddin, when you're talking about next season, I agree. I think you are right. We will see the same burnout as Liverpool had under Klopp after playing too many games with the same players. But so we need to strengthen this summer. We need at least 5 signings, but most likely we need 7 to 8 signings. And we know the success rate of signings is less than 50%. So if we sign 5 players, maybe just 2 of them will work, and then we're back to the same problem. So we need numbers. That's my thought about next season.
Yeah, big up.
Hi, Mick.
Listen, big up, Mick. I thought I sent you the link, bro. Apologies.
I just woke up basically, having my morning coffee.
Oh, you had a nap. There you go.
Yeah, I had a nap.
Yeah.
Like Bruno said in the interview, how do you stay fit and how can you play all these games by having naps?
well, it looked like he over fucking slept by the way he was playing today. But anyway, that's another matter. How did you see the game? Actually, you know what? We've heard that you probably heard that the game similar to the way we've seen it. But how do Manchester United move on from this? And do you agree that a burnout would cost us next season? Forget about this season if we don't get 4 or 5 managers. And also, there are news tonight. People that I seriously trust, have specifically told me tonight that the Glazers are in negotiation, and the Financial Times article is closest to the truth as anything that's come out about the ownership. the Financial Times were well briefed about Radcliffe having the 6 Glazers stay, basically him being given the investment. So with that news tonight that's coming out, people have, I was speaking to somebody for a fucking hour, right? So with that news, I see Ten Hag out becoming the trend, the tag next season. I see that 100% because Manchester United would always throw a manager under the bus before they will sort their house in order. So nothing will change in this football club if Manchester United do not sign the 4 or 5 players that we don't. But do you think there's another way of getting out of this problem and challenging City? And if Manchester United don't have a full sale of this football club, for me, City are going to dominate. You think the treble is bad? They're going to do the quadruple very soon. Very, very soon. Because they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. They will do everything, cheat, whatever it is to win. So where do you stand with that, Mick? Because I'm sure you know you've already said what all you have to say about the game. But go ahead. About the future of the football club and where we can go next season.
I say that, the Ten Hag season starts today, basically, for what he has achieved this season alone. If we had a time traveling machine and go back where we were standing, like, and how we were feeling last season, I would be sitting here happy, with this result that he achieved today. Although we were getting giddy winning in this potential trophy, yeah, fine, fair enough. But if you look at the stats, we're not far away, from actually, making it, right? A lot of people were saying we were getting pelters today, but we weren't, right? And regarding moving ahead, that's what I'm saying. The transfer market starts today for Erik Ten Hag. Basically, get the players in early. I don't care, what people are saying, because I back Ten Hag, and if they're going to throw Ten Hag under the bus, then we have to stand strong, because Ten Hag, according to me, has been the best thing happening to this club for ages. And why I'm saying so is because what Ten Hag has done, he's unified a fan base for the first time in a decade almost, right? We feel more united. We feel that we're seeing that we're going places with Ten Hag, right? We've been crying out for a manager like this. So if Ragnick said that the open heart surgery is needed, that started with actually appointing the right manager, and that was Ten Hag, right? So again, how many times have we gone on this channel talking about the old Deadwood? Yeah, we see the summer. Deadwood is clearance, right? And bringing in the right players that Ten Hag wants. We'll back him. And we go this season because he said, and a lot of the players also said in the interviews, we want to win everything. We want to challenge for every competition, every cup. So here we go. We just have to dust off the season. Look at it. We finished third. We won silverware. That's good enough, according to my opinion.
Yeah, big up Shite TV, by the way. It says big up, brother.
Big up, Shite.
On City's least best, we could have taken advantage of scary quality. Listen, Saeed, I've been telling you all this. We've been saying it all of the season. For me, Manchester United peaked in that final of that Mickey Mouse trophy. And when I look at it in what City have done, what Chelsea have done in the last decade, where we've been, for me, Manchester United have 2 Europa Leagues, 2 League Cups, Mickey Mouse trophies, 1 Europa League and an FA Cup. The only one I reckon is the FA Cup. Because people go, oh, but Fergie used the League Cup to push on and build the team. That was Fergie.
It's like, Nuruddin, it's like bench pressing, right? It's like bench pressing. If you go to the gym, right? If you take bench versus bench.
But you know what? If you said to me, if you would have said to me this, right? This is what you'd have said to me. You lose that final. It's hypothetical, right? We lose that final, but we have a stronger finish to the season and we get out of the Europa League and we go and compete in the FA Cup final. I would have took that. That's me personally. Now, different people, everybody's got their own opinion and everybody's different. But for me, the way we over-celebrated that Mickey Mouse trophy, and Roy Keane put it out as well, right? Because I was at Old Trafford the next day, giving out awards right, left, and centre. I was like, yo, this is Manchester United. We want to make it. Somebody got me in the background. Please turn me off because I can hear the feedback. Right?
Yeah, we're going to say this.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy to me that Manchester United, are celebrating a cup like that. Celebrating to that extreme. And to me, that's when we peaked. Because the Sunday after, we got smashed by Liverpool. And the season has never been... The level of intensity has never been the same ever since. We played Barcelona in a shitty Europa League, and people got giddy, and we beat them at Old Trafford. Then we went to the League Cup final. We beat Newcastle, and then that was the season done for me. The intensity was all done, so I would have took that back, because to me, I never remembered. I have never celebrated a League Cup win. I've celebrated FA Cups, league titles, Champions Leagues. I have never celebrated League Cups. That's to me. That's me personally. But honestly, today it saved me, because I could have been £500 worse off if I would have took that coach and that ticket today. And I'm so happy that I didn't, because if I was confident that my team would have compete, I would have gone and backed them. But I knew they weren't going to go into. And people on the stream were telling me last night, you're too negative, you're too negative. Well, you know what? You don't like the reality talk, do you? You don't like the reality talk. You want me to lie to you, invent things to you. You don't like the reality talk. If you can't handle the reality, don't tune into other channels where they tell you Jackanory, CBBC. They tell you, like, what's that TV show with the kids and the big bird and all of that stuff? That's what those shows in America where kids TV. That's what you want people to lie to you. Jackanory stories in the UK. That means that children's BBC. If you want that, you're on the wrong channel. Here is raw and it's real. And I said it last night. I'm a guy who lives in fucking Hume. I got FA level coaching batch 1 and 2. And I'm talking about Gundogan. I'm speaking about Gundogan. But Eric Ramsey and the rest of those coaching staff know better. Should know better than me. But every dickhead United player is inside the box holding hands with De Gea. Well, the most dangerous player in the biggest games in the past couple of years, Gundogan, is left on the fucking edge. That is fucking criminal offence. That's a criminal offence. If Haaland got the ball, went past Varane 30 yards, that put it top bins, no complaints. No complaints about the first goal. And if any of you think that De Gea would have saved that, no, I'm not criticizing De Gea for that. I'm criticizing De Gea for the way that he was just hoofing the fucking ball like it was fucking FC Wimbledon. That's what I'm talking about. The reason why you play out from the back is to have an advantage in the back, to overload players, to go into the midfield and the last third. That's why modern football is played on the floor from the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
But we're hoofing it to Rashford. It's beyond me. But listen, it is what it is. We lick our wounds, we take it. Can somebody on a positive one tell me how we're going to get out of this and how we're going to compete the next couple of years? And Harry Kane and the young are not going to make us compete for the league. No. Manchester United need 6 to 5 first-team starters. That's what we need. So somebody please tell me positively.
Who drops out of the first team for you? If we're getting 5 or 6, who are you taking out of the first team?
Well, everybody needs to play today, because to me, what I want is that, like Man City, when he plays 5 players, they all sit on the bench. The other 5 players, you don't notice the quality drop. That's what we need. That's what we need.
Yeah. The one thing I always say with it is, when a Manchester City player one weekend scores a hat-trick, they can afford to put that player on the bench. Manchester United, if that happened with us, we wouldn't do that, because we don't have that sort of quality sitting around. We don't. It's the same thing, like the team that's pushed Manchester City to the wire in the last 3-4 years is Liverpool. And even with Liverpool didn't have the squad that City had. But you know the one thing that they had an amazing starting 11. That's the one thing that never changed in Liverpool's team, the starting 11. Apart from when they had an injury or the fixture congestion hits in, they switch around, they change. But you know what a great club always does? Whenever they let somebody go, they always have a backup plan. Liverpool, for example, whenever they've let one of those front 3 members go, whether it be Firmino, Mane, probably Salah if he doesn't stay on long term, they have a contingency plan after those players. Nunez, Diaz, Jota, Gakpo. Manchester United, we don't even have one number 9. Like, it is an absolute shit. And listen, people can take the piss and everything and save out Weghorst or Anthony Martial.
We got him a championship player.
Yeah,
player.
Do you know what's funny though, right? Do you know what's funny? Do you know what's funny though?
Away, where he said all other teams spent in January are rivals and we didn't. He said that.
You know what's funny though? Right? Wout Weghorst is going back to Burnley, right? And Vincent Kompany doesn't even want him in the Premier League. That's how mad this. That's how mad. Like when you think about the players that Manchester United brought in, even Sabitzer, you brought in a loan player who couldn't even stay fit for pretty much majority, like 30% of his loan. Really, the only games I remember him playing was that Sevilla game where he had a decent game, and the Fulham game. That was it, really. If we're being honest, apart from those two games, I can't really think of a highlight. But like you just said, the question, where do we go from here and how do we get back? Honestly, really, you have to rip every single part of this club from shreds, and the only way you can do that is with a new owner. And I don't flipping care about this thing with Ratcliffe, Qatar, whomever. I want whoever has the control. I want to see something different. I couldn't give a shit about Ratcliffe. I couldn't give a shit about Qatar, human rights, or greenwashing, whatever. If Joel and Avram want to sit in the background with 5%, if Sir Jim Ratcliffe says he's a passionate Manchester United fan, right, he'll want what's best for this team. And he will know what's best for this team, regardless of what people are saying in terms of the Glazers. He will know that John Murtough, as a football director, is not good enough. And the reason why he's not good enough is, A, you don't go to Barcelona, Turin, Madrid, all over, and end up getting a player in the final 2 weeks of a transfer window. It doesn't happen. I'm sorry, at another football club, they get the priority player that they want. And love it or hate it, when you think about it, at the end of the day, you set it from the ownership down. And a new owner comes in, I don't care if it's Ratcliffe or Qatar, they ain't keeping Richard Arnold as CEO. So you're going to have a new CEO, you're going to have a new outlook on the commercial side of Manchester United, i.e., Manchester United will be better globally in terms of the players that they recruit and in terms of the markets that they dive into. So if Erik ten Hag says that he values the South American market like he did at Ajax, Manchester United will get a lot more young players from there and bring them to the academy. In the same way, you bring in a football director, the football director will probably consult directly with the manager. And all of this BS around people, John Murtough, like people, I think even forget Andy O'Boyle, like a deputy director of football. Who needs a deputy if you're such a brilliant football operator and a director? It doesn't happen. I've never heard of somebody have a director number two. Like Michael Edwards, for example, at Liverpool, ran a brilliant scouting operation and used the commercial side of Liverpool, but they used the analytics of football and they got the best profile of players. Jurgen Klopp wanted Julian Brandt for God knows how many years when he was at Liverpool, but Michael Edwards stepped in and said, no, the analytics state Mohamed Salah is the better player for your style of football. And they went against the manager's wishes, but they got the best player. Do you honestly think that John Murtough is that, technically gifted in terms of an eye for a talent or an eye for a player to think, oh, do you know what? I'm going to overwrite the manager, and we're going to do what the data says, or we're going to do what this says. No, they don't. They're not going to do that. And love it or hate it, at the end of the day, we need a new ownership who's going to set this club from start. And I mean, when I mean set it from start, I mean from scratch. I don't want any debt. I don't want any sort of leverage in terms of the club. I want Manchester United to have a fresh start. Let's start where Newcastle have started, for example, when Mike Ashley was bought out. Let's start from scratch and build something. Make something meaningful of this football club once again. Because at the end of the day, we've lost our foundations of football club. Let's be honest. We've lost it because we don't compete. We've not competed for a league title in 10 years. And Manchester City, they have turned the Premier League into the Farmers League. Let's be honest, because every single season, and I know everybody on this panel, right? Next season, who are you predicting to win the Premier League? Because it sure as hell ain't going to be Man United. And at the end of the day, when you go to that, in terms of Manchester City, pretty much your prediction every single season to win the Premier League, I think it speaks volumes around how your football club is run. Whether you're a United fan, a Liverpool fan, a City fan, whomever you are, it speaks volumes when you always have one team that you predict to finish first ahead of your team, whomever you support. And at the end of the day, Erik ten Hag, he needs the support of the supporters, which he has. The supporters trust him, and he trusts us. And then you need the support of the structure around you.
Yeah, big up, Tom. Sean, moving forward, where do we go? Where's the positivity? So to me, the only thing that I saw as an 18-year-old come off the bench and show more heart and guts. And that's the only positive that I could take today was Garnacho's energy, Garnacho's willing to never die attitude, how much of he doesn't give absolute two Fs what stage it is, who's against. He's like, give me that ball. I'm going to try and make something happen. And he did that. So big up. That's my only positivity to take. I wish we had 11 Garnachos. I really wish we had 11 Garnachos on that football pitch. But big up everybody. Go ahead. But I predicted it yesterday. I said, we don't score enough goals.
You predicted 4-1.
15 games that gave me any hope was that I was bouncing and people were like, oh, you're getting giddy. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting giddy because in the last game of the season, Manchester United had patterns of play. We were connecting and we scored a couple of decent goals. So I was getting giddy because I saw what I saw with my own eyes and I can only judge on that. But I said last night, where are the goals going to come from? Where are they going to come from? And it was one of the most fortunate, and that rule is stupid, by the way, because when you jump, you're naturally going to have your hand around here. So that's going to be a natural. So when you jump, that's what naturally happens. So I don't know. That gave us the luck to get back in the game. And on another day, referee could have been like, oh, Fred, that's a penalty. They could have gone back 2-1 up. But where's any positivity? Where is the future? Where do Manchester United go back to being challenging for the big trophies?
So like I'd agree with you on Garnacho. And I want to say, I think to Tom and everyone else, I think we should give the Premier League some more credit. I think it's a tougher league than we are portraying it to be. Sure, City are dominating now, but even United, at our peak, we were only able to win the treble and the Premier League, like three-peats. I don't think City are just going to win it to infinity as everyone is portraying. Liverpool gave them a tough run. I think someone's having that echo again. Liverpool gave them a tough run before Chelsea did. Arsenal did as well this season. As far as the Glazers go as well, a 6 billion club is like a behemoth. Think of it as like a freight train. It's going to be hard to change it, or to uproot everything and start again. Newcastle is not a good comparison. They're a smaller club than United are. United are, like I've said many times on this channel, one of the biggest sports franchises generally in the world. It's bigger than City was when City was bought as well. And so let's not expect that it's going to happen quickly, and that even if it happens, there's going to be a radical change of everyone at the top. Even if that happens, it's going to be over a 6 month, maybe to a year period of time. They would phase everyone out, bringing new people. I agree that we need a striker. I think if Rashford is the person we're counting on for, goals, he has given us some goals this season, or to get us over the line, in this game, or to be our star man, we need somebody else to take that burden off him. I would take Harry Kane for less than 100 million. I think we need to bring somebody to replace Eriksen. Eriksen shouldn't be starting for us. He's an old man, OG, come off the bench for 30 minutes like every other game. We need somebody else in defense as a sub, and we need a new keeper. Up until this game, I was willing to give De Gea the benefit of the doubt. I accepted the whole shot stopper, argument that people used to put forward. But as far as I'm concerned now, I don't know. I like what Ten Hag said about he would not always be his number one. We have a tough summer ahead of us. Lots of teams are in market, looking for the same players that we are. But I think we have to be smart. The idea that we can compete with City, in the way they purchase players, or even Chelsea, I don't think that's the way to go. I think Ten Hag has to be ruthless with the first team as well, with the current squad of players that he has. Everyone is talking about players we need to get rid of, but most of those players that they're mentioning are players that currently don't even play right now. You want to bring people back from loan and sell them. We need to improve the first team. I don't agree that Bruno or Rashford or Anthony should be as comfortable, or even Sancho should be as comfortable as they are right now in the team.
I agree. That's what I was saying to you. So we need 5-6 players who can go into the first team straight away.
Yeah.
But big up to you, bro. Irfan, give me the positivity. The only positivity that I saw today was Garnacho's heart. He doesn't give a damn about what stage, who's playing against, what game it is. That kid has got absolute. I wish I could get that aspect, the qualities about him, and bottle it and sprinkle it all over all the other players, because I promise you now, we will win bigger games. We would win a lot more big games with that type of mentality and that attitude. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. He didn't score today. He didn't, he wasn't the hero, but that kid, the heart, absolute brave heart is not the word. Other than him, but in terms of the clubs, in terms of where Manchester United move, is there any positivity that you could take about from anything? From everything that I'm being told, is Ratcliffe, the rat, and I disagree with Tom. For me, I do not want a cent of 0.5% of Glazer ownership of this fucking football club. Those vultures have damaged this football club enough, right? So anything you could say in terms of looking at next season, and do you agree with my analysis about next season, about Ten Hag being thrown under the bus? Somebody just said here, I wanted to go to this comment. Somebody says, glad to see fans awaken up. Ten Hag's not good enough, clueless, stubborn, no plan being linked with shit players, sticking to shit players, wrong decision, wrong subs. Well, I'll say this to Ramo. I mean, listen,
I do not endorse that statement. I just want the records reflect.
You know what? I think that's the alcohol talking, if you ask me. But anyway, I won't say no. I don't agree with that. But the biggest thing, what my criticism of Erik ten Hag is, know who the fuck he's managing. So when we're 3-0 down at the Etihad, shut up shop. 3-0 down or 2-0 down at Anfield, shut up shop. And then make substitutions and use the squad and expose the full squad, and not thinking that you can come in this country and fight for every trophy. No, you fucking can't. You've got to make changes in fucking games. To me, he's had a lot to deal with. Dropping the cup, making the club captain 6th choice centre half. Ronaldo situation, that was always going to come to a head. And then managing everything else that goes on with Manchester United. I think he's done remarkably well. But for me, it's about next season. If he doesn't learn, if I see the same shit that I've seen this season, that him sticking by 11 fucking players next season, then you know what? The rest is history. You know what happens to Manchester United managers. Because the ownership will brief against him and they will stab him in the back, and before you know it, he's out of a job. Go ahead, Ev. Where's the hope? Is there any hope? Or are we living on a prayer? Living on a prayer.
I mean, look, it's a difficult one because I don't want to talk about next year on sort of positivity. It's that it's very, very hard to be positive at anything at the moment because we just don't know what's going to happen next year. We just got no clue. I will say Ten Hag's done well in lots of places, but it's very hard to even judge Ten Hag's this season because our last season was so bad. We've been in such massive demise. It's very hard to judge what he's done till a few seasons ahead. We'll know how good this season was in a few seasons' time. Now, like I said, there is a bit of stubbornness. There is this unwillingness to. I mean, like this thing of like where he does drive me a bit crazy. Where this, kept playing Weghorst. I cannot get my brains like, what is he offering you? What does he offer you? But he does it. So we know there's something. There's a stubbornness, but we've got to cut him some slack. Now, positivity-wise, I hope he sees he's got a player in Garnacho that's got heart, desire, and he needs to have more of that in the rest of his team, right? But he's got a massive challenge in terms of balancing Sancho, Rashford, other players. I mean, obviously, he's made his mind with Maguire. He's got a job equally difficult, if not even maybe I could even say twice as difficult next year as this year. Because, he has done the one thing he has done as he's stabilized the club to a degree. And that's what's positive. He has stabilized the club. Whether we like it or not, he stabilized it, right? We can disagree about his decisions, his man management, his tactics. We can talk about that till the cows come home. So that's the one positive is we have been stable this year. The problem is, like you said, Nuruddin, about are we going to get Liverpool type fatigue next year? Are we? Is he going to be smart enough to go, okay, I can't fight on every level. I've got to cut the chances of my squad and make him fight for 2 or 3 cups instead of 4 or 5 or whatever. Yeah. Is he good? I don't know what he's going to do that. I really don't know. I'm not here to lie about stuff. I've got to be honest because the positivity aspect, I don't know how to be positive about next year. The reason all of us are a little bit crazy to a degree, in the sense that crazy angry and get irate, is because we're not talking about a normal football club. We're not talking about a top 6, top 7. We're talking about the most famous club in England and one of the best clubs in the world. So everybody, even if you don't know about shit about Man United, your thought process is how do we win, not how do we come second, third, or fourth. So we're up against this expectation level, which is super, super high. Even for the average sport, doesn't know shit about Man United. And this is the problem, that this is what we all fall into, this sort of trap where we want all these things, but are we actually really going to get them? Are we really look, every time there's a conversation we're having about analyzing Man United, the rat, I keep hearing the word rat. I keep hearing the Glazers. I keep hearing that, so that is the cloud that's still hanging over our head. I call it the infectious disease that we've got. Whether we can shake that off, I just don't know. And when this thing about being positive, where, I keep hearing these words, smart finance, smart buying. Can you tell me the last time United made an Akanji type signing for 15, 20 million or whatever it was? Can you tell me the last time that happened? Can you show me the last time that we bought a Caicedo that turned out to be a £70 million player, bought for 6 million or 10 million? Can you tell me that? Because I can't remember it. So, I want to be positive, but I don't see anything to be positive about at the moment. All I can say is we can stabilize a little bit. We might get 60, 70 million, but we're more like, because we got these morons running our club, we're more likely to spend out on one player instead of buying 3 or 4 players, that could grow into that. So that's the problem we've got. So I don't really know about being positive at the moment. I'm like game to game, month to month. I can't think. This team does not make me think far ahead like it was at the team of old, where you could think far ahead. Like with City, you can think months ahead, years ahead, you can think, because they're super stable and solid. Man United are not that. But I hope that he bloods more young players of quality to find out what they got. I'm a bit disappointed that Pellistri didn't get more chance this year. And maybe, I don't know. I mean, I don't know who else we've got in there that could have, made a difference for us. But he's got to give a few more players chances, and he cannot do the Weghorst thing. He can't do that anymore. He can't do the everything. Those things have to go. So I'm optimistic about the possibility he may be ruthless, but I just don't know, Lorin. I just really don't know what's going to happen with him and how he's going to prove to, what kind of manager he's going to prove to be, because I just don't know his history. I don't know what he's like at 20. I don't know what he was like at Ajax. I don't know if this guy's ruthless or not. I just don't know yet.
If it's not about that, it's a football club at the end of the day. But Mick, talk to me.
Yeah,
Listen.
I got a problem with the statement that was before. It's not the recipe to sack the fucking manager. We've done that so many times before.
Yeah, of course.
Just look at Arteta.
He stabilized it, Mickey. I said they stabilized it, whether you like it or not. He
Stabilized it.
Yeah.
The positive thing that we have to look at is this summer transfer window. Only then we can speak, right? Because obviously he's inherited his fucking squad that came all the way from Moyes' side, right? So the open heart surgery starts now today. I'm sure he's going to ship out a lot of those players that don't play for the badge and the heart. And I'm sure he's got a list of players that he's going to get rid of and the players he's going to bring in. So
Mick,
we can judge.
Mick, at this football club.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, this is my opinion, though. This is my opinion.
Well,
I look at it.
This football club gets rid of players. Where's the evidence?
I'm not talking about the evidence. I'm talking about looking forward according to my vision.
It's what we have to do. Yeah,
that's what we have to do. We cannot be stuck in the past. We got to look forward, right? And don't get like scared by this news and scare tactics comes out in the press and media. We just have to wait and see. But all we have to do now, pack up shop now.
I am scared.
Yeah, pack up shop now. Go on a holiday. It's been a relentless season for all the content creators, everyone that's been a fan watching. It's stressful as enough. But all I'm saying is have hope for the season. Believe in the manager. Believe in the process. Look at what Arteta did. 4 seasons in running. He's challenging already. We cannot sack managers every time things goes wrong, right? We have to stick. We have the right manager. We just have to back him, give him the right type of players that he wants, and he will form a squad according to his opinion. I mean, to his playing style, right? The players that he has now don't fit his requirements. Simple as that, right? Simple. So half of them will not even be there next season or 2 seasons away. Yeah, Eriksen, according to me, was a stopgap, right? Eriksen is there. He was there for free. He offered something, but for me, he will be another Juan Mata with technical abilities with no engine. So we definitely need to get in an open heart surgeon in that midfield. We need strikers. The defense is good for now. We're shipping up Maguire 100%. We have to build that spine, and we have to sort of take 1 or 2 transfer windows from now. But definitely, if we finish third this season, the challenge for me is how do we finish next, right? Are we going to challenge for the title? I don't think so. But at least it's a step towards the right direction. That's the positive thing that I think. Ten Hag is the most positive thing that happened to us this season.
Listen, I agree with you to that point, but I'm not going to lie to you. At times, his selections overplaying players, not realizing fatigue, and that setting into me was naive beyond naive for me in games where we didn't have to do that. Because you can't come for me. I will die to this. I will take this to the grave. When you're a new coach and a new manager, you come to a football club, you make sure you have the fucking time on the training ground to put in your way of playing into them. So when they're fatigued, they got something to fall back on. And I, living in fucking Hume, I've got 2 qualifications.
I understand.
2 qualifications, and I can pre-warn about fucking Gundogan, and I'm not accepting that second fucking goal. I am not. When everybody's telling me how good this fucking coach is, what's his name? Eric Ramsey, how he's an amazing set piece guy. We don't fucking score goals from set pieces. How good can he be? Absolute joke. This club, and I'm gonna say this now, please set your fucking time. Your stopwatches, right? Set it to the time tomorrow morning, wherever you are in the afternoon or morning. Breaking news: Manchester United linked with this player. Deal almost close. Done with this player. The PR and the bullshit spin will come out, because I'm telling you, if PR and spin were trophies, Manchester United will win every 3 months and every season. We would have a trophy every quarter. Every year and every season, Manchester United would win the league. We doesn't.
We're the biggest club in the world, Nerdin. It comes with the territory.
Yeah.
Nah, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Nerdin, you know what it is, right?
I don't see that shit in Real Madrid. I don't see that. Or Barcelona.
Nerdin, you know what it is. I agree what you're saying, your point is, but I always look at why. I always, ask the critical question. Why do you keep doing this? Why are you not rotating? Why are you not selecting the certain players? And it comes down to ability. There's trust and there's ability. He see that certain players, he cannot be trusted. Certain players doesn't have the ability to play. And that's why it's my opinion that I believe that he's been overplaying certain players, because he doesn't trust the other ones because they don't have the ability. Yeah. And regarding this story that came out today, typically, it's on a day of a cup final. It has to come out today something negative in the press, right, regarding the Glazers and the 6 siblings staying on. It always happens in a final or something big event. Something like this comes out. I don't buy into it, Nerdin. So all I'm saying is we just have to wait and see. Like the transfer, don't believe until you see the player sign this contract and holding up the shirt, right? But we still have to protest. It's green and gold until we fucking sold.
Yeah, big up, mate. Big up. Eski, the positivity. I always stop City. Big up Windy Grant. Windy Grant says, honestly, I made my peace with City being the second team win the trouble. Exactly. I've said this just before, Windy. My issue is that City will win in a quad within 3 years. Not even 3 years. I think they might be able to do it next year, because depending what signings that Liverpool make, Newcastle, to me, are not further away. They're not going to be challenging them soon. Newcastle might be the saviors to stop City. Newcastle might be the saviors, but they're not ready yet to stop them. And I can't see Chelsea doing it either. So I don't know who's going to stop them. I genuinely think if Southampton didn't knock them out, somebody made a comment before. If Southampton didn't knock them out, they would have won the quadruple this season. Facts.
But nobody's talking about Nerdin. Nobody's talking about the bench versus bench. How much time they had.
We talked about it.
Yeah.
Listen. Every way how Manchester United is dysfunctional, every way Manchester United is not a football club, Man City are. Now, without that money, now people say, this has been the money. No, it's not just money. They've got football operators, people who are willing to cheat, who are willing to bend rules right, left, and center, but who want to win at all costs. And if I'm envious, I'm not envious because I've got Pep or the players there. I'm envious that their owners are willing to bend every rule under the sun to win. That's what I'm envious of.
What I wanted to say is an analogy. You know, imagine me being Pep Guardiola, you being Ten Hag. You rock into Wembley today. You look at your bench, and you know you're going to bench press. You know, you look at the squad, and you know what wins, right? You know what you have on the bar, right? And you look at your bench, you're quite light. You know that Pep Guardiola is going to win at the end of the day, but that's 10 years in the making, mate. That's 10 years in the making. So all we can do right now as fans looking forward, if City gets the treble, we have to break that to be on top again, to have a fourth. Keep going, keep moving, challenging. You know what I mean? We have to look forward. Okay, they're not going to break our record, but they're going to be equal. But what we have to do then to stop it is to go for the treble again. Simple as that.
Well, we'll see anyway. Like I said, with this ownership in place, I can only talk about what is there. I'm not talking about what's to come. But with the ownership the way it is, I can't see Manchester United. And if it's the Ratcliffe and the Glazers staying on, then trust me, the next decade we're done out here. We are absolutely done out here. Seriously, we're done out here.
Yeah.
There it is. Living on a prayer. Whoa!
Live on a prayer.
Whoa!
Take my hand.
Whoa!
I'm gonna bring in my cat. Hang on a second.
Whoa!
Therapy army.
Trust me, that's how we are, people. But big up to everybody. Guys, there's 500 of you here watching, and there's over 500 watching. I know a lot of you turned up to obviously gloat, a lot of City fans. And yeah, the city is yours. Definitely, the city is yours. Got 20,000 empty seats. Are you fucking sure while you're there as well? But we know the rest. Like I said, the only thing I'm ever envious about is that you've got owners who are willing to break every rule.
Yeah, true that.
Right, to win. And I wish that we had owners who did that. Now, we can say whatever you want about Martin Edwards. Martin Edwards was that guy. Martin Edwards was that guy that he would want to win because he was an actual fan of Manchester United. So big up Goodfella Productions. He said, go out and get 2 young strikers, Haaland and Monani, and just spend our budget on Kane makes more sense. Go out and get 2 young strikers and not just spend on 100%. I agree with you. Big up. Thank you so much for the super.
Can I correct you? Can I come in on there what you just said? So let me just reiterate this. So you're envious of a team that potentially cheats because you don't mind winning if you're cheating. Is that what you're saying?
Fan, at the end of the day, the Premier League, what the charges that in, there's not going to be any fruition. They're kicking it down the line. They've got the money to hire lawyers that argue the way. In this country, I live in this country. I know how the justice system works. It works like most countries in the world. Whoever's got the money, whoever's got the big box, wins. Man City Premier League has got more money than Manchester City. Like the way they got away with it with UEFA, they'll get away with it. So I'm envious of that. Not just the football structure, but they're willing to cheat. They're willing to break every rule to win. And you know what? I respect that. That's what I do. I'm envious of that. That's what I'm envious about. Because the same dickheads who are talking about, Manchester United cannot be bought by Qatar are the same ones who are praising Manchester City. So it is what it is. Oh, there's the lovely cat and Nick. Oh.
That's my terrorist.
What's it called? What's the name?
Misha.
Hello, Misha. Misha. He's so cute. I love cats, man. I'm a
He's
cat
from Malaysia. Street cat.
Listen, beautiful.
Beautiful,
Scozy out at the moment, but I came in. Scozy looked at me and just walked away, and I'm like, I know the feeling.
No, he was terrorizing me. He's just jumping off the window, going meow meow meow. And I was quiet, and then he was like listening, and then he heard me talking again, and he went meow 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 meow. Let me in.
Yeah, he's letting you know United are shit. That's what he's letting us know. He's letting us know we are on the prayer, man. We're halfway there. Whoa!
Big up. This guy is a ninja, right? He goes out to terrorize the whole neighborhood. He kicks everyone's ass like he's a fighter. But at home, he's just such a sweetie. Like, he's never scratched me. He's never done anything. I can just literally turn him upside down, do everything I want. He's so nice. Anyway, that's my therapy. My dog and my cat.
Listen, it is what it is. So big up to
everyone. It is what it is.
Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. It's raw. It's real. Big up to City fans who tuned in. Congratulations. I would wish you luck next Saturday, but that's fake of me to do that. So I'm not going to do that. We'll see what happens. But I think Inter Milan have got no chance, if you ask me. Zero chance. That City win that 3-0 comfortably. I'm saying that you heard it here first. Any of you betting
Right.
guys, you heard it here first. So it is what it is. Like I'm windy. They're gonna do the quad. And if Southampton didn't beat them, they would have done the quad this season. So it is what it is. At the end of the day, Manchester United are nowhere. We got every aspect of our football club is laid bare in a final like that. We got exposed. We are what we are. And I'm not going to lie to you. If something happens with Xavi in the next year or so, Ten Hag's never hidden the fact that he wants to follow his hero and go to Barcelona. So I won't be surprised either that if he was to end up there. So it is what it is, people. Because Manchester United, for me, unless the ownership changes to ownership that wants to win and a full ownership of this football club, we ain't coming back.
Win by cheating, yeah?
Lucky ones. I'm just one of the lucky ones. And I think all of us on the screen here, I don't know how old Eski is, but majority of us are old enough to remember to live the good times. And that's all we have to do. We're going to just become a Wikipedia page where we'll become nostalgic and we'll make videos about how good we were in 99 and how good we were in the 2008 and 9 and all that. That's what we're going to become. That's what we're going to become. Unless owners come into this football club that want to win at all fucking costs. Because if they're cheating, if they're bending every rules, I want owners that are going to bend every fucking rule. That's what I want. Because I want to fucking win. Because football only remembers winners. That's how it is, people.
Yeah.
Like I said to you, next season.
What about Leicester, Nuruddin?
Do not be surprised if Ten Hag out is trending. Because if he doesn't learn from playing the same 11, the burnout will come a lot quicker and a lot faster before you know it. Because City are going to strengthen again. Liverpool will do the same. Arsenal will do the same. I heard Ian Wright podcast the other day. He said he spoke to Arteta and Edu. They're cooking, he said. This is Ian Wright. He said, ooh, they're cooking. And that's Ian Wright. Arsenal fans are on the up. They've spent money. They'll score again. Spurs will be back. Chelsea will be back. Manchester United. But tomorrow morning, people, when you're having your cornflakes or your eggs, just remember the news. Mason Mount already done deal. Haaland done. Harry Kane done. That's what you're going to get. Neil Ashton, if you're listening,
Spinning the place.
you know what you're going to do. I've been there and done it. I got the T-shirt. I've seen the movie for the past decade. I've saw the movie for the past decade. That's what I've seen. That movie, and I've seen it all. So big up Sean or Ryan says.
Oh, I got to say
why
something
Alex
like that.
Preston sitting beside the Glazer?
He has
today.
to.
You know why? You know why, Sean? Both Fergie, and let me quote them, right? Both Fergie and Gil, before the takeover, said debt will ruin the football club. Debt is the quickest way to ruin. And you know what? Guess what the Glazers did? They made Gil the highest paid CEO in world football. They made Ferguson the highest paid manager in world football. With money, you could buy anything, my friend. And that's the reason why they can sit next to that vulture. And because he's on the board, both of them are on the board. They're on the board, both of them. They get paid they get paid? A couple of million a year to be on that pod on the ambassadorial roles. So that's the reason why they're
crooked.
But on the other hand, nobody wants to sit next to that fucker too, right? And what gets me is like he had to shake hands with every fucking single player. If I was Bruno Fernandes, I just would have done this boogie and just here you go, mate.
Yeah.
Take that shit. No, seriously, that fucking broke my heart to see that he was sitting there. Like they were basically forced to sit next to him. Nobody wants to fucking sit next to that fucking scumbag. To be honest,
it is what it is. Big up Khalees Remedy. That's a Juventus United real therapy. It is what it is, people. It is what it is. Hey, Scoldy. Listen, I gotta go and take care of the cat. But big up to every one of you. Love and like. Smash a like on the video on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. You get it raw and real here. We predicted this. This is not no news to me. I'm not that angry. I'm angry the players didn't give it. That's what I'm angry about, and that's what I said. I said I don't mind losing, but make sure you come off that pitch. And the only player that can hold his head high is Garnacho. The only player that can hold his head high is Garnacho. Those so-called 5 Champions League winners, Real Madrid, they could not fucking sense danger, smell fucking danger, and they let Gundogan at the edge of the area. They gave him the fucking keys to Wembley. Because if somebody scored a wonder goal and put it top bins, I won't be moaning. Like, I'm never going to moan. Most United fans or football lovers are never going to moan and blame De Gea for the first goal. They're never going to do that.
One thing that I keep thinking 1 hour after my post-match review together with Jarvis was that we stopped, we isolated De Bruyne, we isolated Erling Haaland. He was invisible. We isolated Jack Grealish. So they gave open space to Gundogan to actually have those 2 shots.
And he's the danger guy. And he's the fucking danger guy.
So we missed that.
He's the guy that comes with the big goals when his team need it. He's that guy. And we give him the fucking keys. That to me hurts me. That's what I'm angry about.
Yeah.
I'm not angry about the first goal. I'm not angry about losing a cup final. We've lost cup finals before. We're going to lose cup finals in the future. But it's about how the fuck you lose. And the only one that can held his high is Garnacho.
Garnacho was amazing.
Right, win, lose, draw, Glazers out, bankers out. Peace, people. Let me take her to this cat.